We're so deep into it already. We have our full first phase of bans away. Orbital Chrome, they banned Vladimir, and they stole the Caitlyn.
Yeah, this one will be taken away from Alistair. No more Caitlyn, mister. You've been crowned the king of Caitlyn before this time. We will take your crown away.
Yes!
But immediate response here is Jinx. Yeah, or to get the Jinx, the rockets will go a-flying, and the Thresh to pair with it makes a lot of sense. Wow, you're a big fan of this.
Jinx is probably one of my favorite canonical characters in League of Legends. When she first released, it's also just a great memory. When she first released, I had my duo partner and I would just play Jinx Leona on release, because what you would do is you would Zenith Blade into Claptrap and you killed him at level 2 guaranteed 90 times out of 10. So great memories. The champ's fun as heck, but with Thresh, I think it's pretty free. You do have Caitlyn Morgana, though, which is quite scary. So I am a little bit concerned that the pick isn't going to shine as much as we would like, but it blitzes through towers given the chance. And so if a single poor back timing comes in from Orbital Chrome's bottom lane here, the tower's gone. Like, even through the 5 plates, Jinx Thresh will just simply melt right through it.
So one thing that Lotus can do here to sort of navigate this troublesome matchup that they may be in, I mean, I do like the Jinx into Caitlyn. A Thresh into Morgana is good, but Kate Morg is just such a strong duo lane that you have to adapt. And I think a Guardian Lantern Max here from Kiwiism could negate Caitlyn Morgana lane completely, right? You get hit by the binding, you get hit by a couple headshots along the way. Guardian basically negates a headshot. The Lantern negates the next. Could be a really good look here as we get into our second phase. The junglers were locked in. It's a tank-oriented jungler. Of course, we are on 11-4, which means we're going to get some ganking junglers indeed. Jarvan, Quattro, and Zac both selected here for Orbital Chrome and Lotus.
So the Zac we've seen before, it's a great pick for Lotus. It works out quite nicely as a team. There is a world in somewhere where they flex the top lane. I don't know if it's an Accelerate's playbook, but largely I do think it's going to be the jungler. Jarvan's such a curious pick for me because it has fallen so far out of meta, because when you look at his 2 archetypes of, big explosive damage, there's people that are better than him than it. And if you look at tanky, engage, crowd control, there are, again, people better than him. That's always kind of been his shtick, but he's just so easy to execute. EQR, it does pose a lot of problems for Jinx Orianna specifically. So there is great showings from Chrome once again. They have so far an extremely great draft. They have the Caitlyn Morgana combo, which I know you're talking about ways to mitigate it, but if you get hit by a Dark Binding, Caitlyn trap headshot into 90 caliber net headshot Piltover Peacemaker on top of everything, that is a big grip of damage. And there is, even still, you lose that trade through Guardian, through Shield, through, even Tywarm Tonic. Like, that is something that will force you out of lane. Looking here, continuing the draft phase, Orbital Chrome seem to believe in the Azir. I think that's a great call. They had that amazing defense play up at the top tier 3. They still lost the fight, but if that had come like 10 minutes earlier, then it's a completely different ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a 3, if not a 4-man shuffle back into the base. Sadly, they were just so low after the play, they couldn't actually defend their 3rd inhibitor. Orbital Chrome are going to blind the Kennen, and we're getting a run back of game number 1. Kennen and Gnar, or set number 1, excuse me. Kennen into Gnar. This is going to be an interesting one. There's a lot of tools here for Lotus, but you got 1 carry and 1 carry alone. It's Alistair on this Jinx. Orianna, sure, can hit a big shockwave. Gnar can do the same with his Gnar ulti. But consistent DPS, you're looking at Alistair to put Lotus on his back once again. And speaking to Alistair, he knows he can do it. He knows he can carry this team all the way to and through playoffs. He just needs the resources. This is your time. If you want to see Alistair pop off in a game, this would be the one. Got the Jinx that he was looking for, and it's time to show up.
Yeah, I mean, Jinx is actually a perfect pick to do it here too as well. It's not as flashy as like the Vayne Kai'Sa. It's just as simple as right click to win. And, when you go for the Kraken Slayer, Berserker Grief Runaan's build that is pretty typical, that alone is a power spike. That can basically win you these early team fights because you're getting the splash damage, you're sending in the rockets, you're getting the Kraken Slayer procs, and it chunks people out. And on the side of Orbital Chrome, they don't have really a true tank. They have Jarvan that's tanky, but it's not a tank. It's not a Sejuani. It's not an Ornn. It's not a Scion. They're just tanky-ish. So there is a lot of room here for Alistar to really showcase their skills, and the tap dancing shoes is trying to dodge back and forth across like biscuit traps and dark bindings and shurikens. But if they could do that, if they get even a little bit of assistance from their team, there's not really a whole lot that can stop them, because picture this: mid-team fight, it's third dragon, everybody is on about equal footing, and they're clashing in front of the pit. Jarvan EQ in to Cataclysm onto the Jinx. Cool. He's built, call it Dead Man's Plate and plated steel caps for some reason. Where's his follow-up? Because now you're expecting Kennen to jump on in as well, but Jinx flashed out of the Cataclysm. Now Kennen can't reach her because the Cataclysm's in the way, so you're expecting a Dark Binding to come through. Oh, it catches onto Zac or Meganar, both really big, fatty, chunky champions. Now you're on to the Azir, who has to get something done because he's the only carry left on the team, like in game number 1. He tries to Shurima shuffle him, but oh wait, the Flash plus the Cataclysm just pushed Jinx too far away from that. Now she's coming back at you, raining down rockets, getting excited, and just for the creme de la creme, throws in the supermassive rocket and just dunks on everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that whether Jinx has Flash, Lantern for Thresh, or just Gnar being the big beefy frontliner along with Zac that he is, can buy enough space for Alistar to operate this game. You can get so much DPS from such long range because of the Q buffs for Fishbones in the rocket launcher. You don't really have to be in Azir's effective range to be doing DPS to the front line. You can hit Kennen, you can hit Jarvan, you can even probably hit Morgana or Azir depending on how the positioning plays out without being in too much threat of that range. So this one is going to be a lot on Alistar's shoulders. I want to quickly flip this coin though.
I'm gonna be too late. Definitely not Elf. Do Junk. I like Firecracker. Jinx skin. What are the other good ones? Odyssey's terrible. Don't use Odyssey. Yeah,
it's
definitely
too
Firecracker.
late now.
Yeah, I think it's too late. But
It's
yeah,
too late. They're in game.
Yeah, tragic. But I just saw the ping in Twitch chat, so I hope they didn't pick Elf. That one's not amazing either. It's not like the old Tristana Elf skin, but tough. Yeah, we'll find out what he did in just a minute. No, I mean, Necrox, I think both drafts are actually really strong in their own separate ways. And, Lotus are kind of putting it all in the Alistar basket. We've seen that fail them before, unfortunately. Is this going to be a repeat? We're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, time will only tell, but the only other sort of side to this coin is Orbital Chrome and what they have in their pocket. You have the Hyper Carries here, you have the Hyper Carry Caitlyn. We've seen it be strong in this patch. Alistar literally just did it to you last game. So you've got the tools, obviously, right? The Kennen popped off in our first set. Caitlyn just popped off right in your face. So Orbital Chrome clearly have what they need. Just comes down to execution. For our final game of the evening, Orbital Chrome looking to take on Lotus, and Lotus looking to push themselves to playoffs with this new top laner. I know you're listening, Zephyr, and I'm sure that made you so happy to hear. With that though, Spec Delay will count down just below 90 seconds, and we'll be back with Summoner's Rift as Juicebox Sky and DJ give the last bits of action here on the Heavy League, but stay tuned afterward for our interview with the MVP that you guys can decide. We'll be back in just over a minute.
Welcome to the final game of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Orbital Chrome continue their quest for just a small bit of glory, and Lotus are not looking to be the team to allow them to do so. My name is Juicebox Guy. Joining me is the DJ, and we can already see Orbital Chrome is done with the games.
Yeah, they're up to something spicy here, but I just got to do one thing. Skin check. It's the elf jinx, so a little unfortunate. Doctor got to that one a little bit late, but look at that. They're going to get the flash out of Accelerate here as he sees all 5 members walking menacingly towards him and decides, I am afraid of the menace. Going to flash over the wall. Of course, that is a justified flash, considering if you do get rooted up by that Morgana, you are just going to go down for first blood, but it will mean that there is an opportunity for an early gank on this Jarvan for Derikos, and we know this is both the jungler and the champion that are not shy of an early jungle gank.
No, absolutely not. Derikos has been a little bit bloodthirsty tonight, and I want to see some of that bloodthirst come to fruition. So far, look over at this top lane. ADC 2021 LoLW has been on the receiving end of this matchup. He's played the Gnar into the Kinnan. This time he gets the Kinnan into the Gnar, right? He finally gets to try to flip this script. And if he doesn't win here, I mean, what do you got? What do you got left? You're just, you have the flash already gone from Accelerate. Now, Accelerate had a great performance last game. Took him a little while to get going, but he got there. It's time to see what ADC 2021 has to bring to the table.
Yeah, I think for me, it's time to see what the entirety of Orbital has to bring to the table. Like, this was their night. 4 games on stream, sitting in 6th position in that last playoff spot. And like I said, I talked to Slash earlier today, and they were confident in their preparation. They believe that they're a playoff team. And so far tonight, going up against 2 teams that are going to be in the playoffs almost certainly, if Lotus does keep it up, they haven't performed yet. So I need to see it from Slash and the rest of Orbital Chrome in this game to prove that they can hold that 6th slot down, that they can fend New Age off, and that if they do get to the playoffs, they can be a threat to these teams that are traditionally top of the table.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little convincing, but I feel as though they can still do it. They still got the gusto to make something happen here. Dark Binding does go wide from Nelson, another player who has just been having a really, really tough night tonight. He had that, what was it? The a Galio game where he died 9 times, 0 deaths, and I think 2 assists. So everybody has something to prove, and it's time to prove something. You're not going up against an elite 80 carry like Klonkgrong Zonk. You're going up against Alistair. And this is a guy you can abuse, right? He's bottom 380 carry in the league. So if Assisted was going to beat anybody, this would be the guy he's going to beat. And
is there anything Clonk can't do?
Well, Clonk can do everything. Clonk transcends the heavy league. So until I see, something to prove to me otherwise, as Derikos, does the flag and drag over the wall, bullied out from this little scuttle crab. Until I see otherwise, I think that Clonk easily the best player in the LCS.
That might be a step too far there. Not sure. Not sure about that one, but he is a very good player, of course. So one thing I do want to mention here.
That Slash Div on the ropes and bops him a few times. Slash Div actually manages not to flash there, which is pretty critical. You do not want to be losing that flash on Azir unless you absolutely need to.
Yeah, and speaking of flashes, I want to talk about LZ's pathing in the early game here. He's done a very nice job. He's actually 2 camps ahead of this Jarvan that should clear a little bit faster than him and a little more healthy than him. And his pathing was great. He cleared full bot into full top, but he hung around the top lane long enough to deter a gank. They collapsed on Derikos in that top side jungle. And they were able to get double scuttle for their troubles and also keep Accelerate safe from any follow-up gank on that lost flash in the early game. You can see just a couple seconds left on Accelerate's flash up there in the top right corner. He's going to be able to be completely safe during that cooldown, and it will be like it never happened in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, I mean, you just they totally wasted any opportunity they had. I think part of it was because the Kinnan kept the wave constantly shoved. I don't think when I think of Derricos, from what I've seen so far tonight, I'm not thinking of a guy who's really going to get too involved early, right? Even on like the Echo, he still goes a relatively safe route and doesn't get too crazy with anything. Mr. Kiwiism almost gets the flay, but a great 90 caliber net from Assisted keeps him in safety, and Mr. Kiwiism gonna have to try to flay another day. But yeah, I think Derricos has been a little shy, a little light on the ganking thus far tonight, and I don't see any reason to think that would be different even right now. You know, he's on an early mid-game jungler, and so far we are 6 minutes in, hasn't actually made a move yet. Meanwhile, LZ has been making moves all across the map, almost getting things done constantly. Great Black Shield to start it off, but the hook, the traps, everything just follows up beautifully, and Mr. Kiwiism, the true star of this bottom lane, gets first blood.
Yeah, that hook was clutch from Kiwiism. The spell shield came out at the right time from Morgana. Nelson doing a nice job to layer that one, but still going to get bounced up by LZ, and it's just perfect timing and perfect aim on the follow-up hook from Kiwiism, knowing where that Zac pullback is going to bounce those two champions. And another early first blood. This one does go over to the support through the Ignite, not straight on to Alistair. Hold on here.
Oh, Accelerate trying to make the moves onto ADC, and ADC flashes away, but guess who has flashed back? Derricos finally making his first appearance of the night. Accelerate really wish he hadn't blown that flash now, and just auto-attacked. He gets slapped, he gets bapped, and at the end he has to tap. Accelerate is back to the fountain.
Yeah, a little unfortunate there for Accelerate, as the jungler was around trying to take advantage of that. I think he played that one about as well as he could, and of course you see that Kennen getting low, you know that is a kill if you follow Flash, if it's isolated, and I think he just kind of didn't realize the jungler could be around. He does get punished by Derricos, who does pick up the early kill to try to turn some of this momentum around. But as a response, they do just lose out on a free first Drake. The kill in the bot lane and the appearance of the jungler topside guarantees that one. And look where LZ is.
Yeah, LZ having an impact on the map. Great Black Shield once again. Assisted steps back forward. I'm wondering if that's going to bite him at all. So far, he's just getting to take free shots at LZ, though. And LZ has nothing he can do except for, take them. So he's going to take up a few auto attacks. Not a lot of damage done, though, and there's no Black Shield anymore, but this is such a gross exaggeration of power that they are trying to display, giving up a free kill over to the Caitlyn. The same Caitlyn, different player, but same champion that just destroyed Orbital Chrome last game.
Yeah, it's a good play from Orbital, but again, I think they get a little unlucky here. Oh! Flash.
Beautiful flash from Alistair. The hook to follow and the kill to cap it all off. Assisted. He's walking up. He's wishing he could do something, but all he can do is put his hands in the air and back away.
Okay, I stand the play there from Slashdiv. I love the effort. It's been a rough night for Orbital. They need to make some stuff happen, but Alistair, man, just too good for him, and so is Kiwiism.
What a flay. It was gorgeous. Alistair is in a good bit of trouble. There's the Kinnan slicing Maelstrom, and it doesn't actually get much done. I think it maybe kept Assisted alive, depending on how the fight might have continued there, but all things considered, yeah, just another win for Lotus and another loss for Orbital Chrome. It's really getting hard for them.
Yeah, this is disastrous for them. It was initially not a bad play on the bottom side.
No.
They baited in the initial engage. They killed off, I believe it was they killed off LZ, got him into the passive. They had a TP coming down over the top to pick it up. But on the back side of that, Alistair picked up a kill with the Jinx ulti. So you go 1 for 1, you lose your mid lane TP, and then you get your jungler caught out. It turns into a huge brawl. Everything gets expended from Orbital trying to kill Alistair, but with some help from Mr. Kiwiism and some fast fingers on the engage from Azir into turret and from the TP on Kennen, Alistair's just completely safe. He picks up another kill for himself. He's 3-0-1 and up 16 CS now, and there are no resources for Orbital. Both their teleports are on long cooldowns. They have no ability to make plays across the map. They have TP difference in mid lane for JVL. This is absolutely disastrous, and this game is completely in Lotus's favor at the time.
Yeah, and this has kind of been the story all night. Like, if I had to kind of pin it down to one thing that Orbital Chrome has really lacked across all these games, it's setup, right? Like, they're not preparing for these fights. They see something that looks possible. Let's give this a second.
Early Black Shield.
Yeah, that's a waste. It does come in clutch, though, right before it expires. Alistair playing the friendly neighborhood 80 carry, tanks up the Caliber Nest, so Mr. Kiwiism isn't going to be chunked out too hard, but it is still a losing trade for this Lotus bot lane. But like I was saying, though, they just haven't had, like, they keep putting themselves in number disadvantages, in vision disadvantages, and then they have to opt into it because there is just a bit of a lack of, I don't know, like, desire or I guess urgency is the right word to actually get these setups.
Yeah, the setups just haven't quite been there. And again, I in particular, I like the effort from Slash Div under the turret. It just good fast fingers by Alistair. But like you said, I think on the Kennen TP, just not really considering the situation. Oh no, this is death.
Assisted, came to lane. Oh, barely dodges the ultimate. And that's going to be enough. Except he has to leave lane without summoners, and he's going to lose a wave or two. And his support is elsewhere on the map. But hey, other than all that, he's still alive.
Yeah, is still alive despite almost being caught out. But yeah, it's been another clinic by this bot lane. Alistair is just so far ahead. And I think even more so than game one, Mr. Kiwiism has been very, very good. Although he will be kicking himself about that last play, maybe getting his Kiwi ration taken away for the night, because that Black Shield came out early. And all he needed to do was time the hook for the drop of that Black Shield. But just a moment too quickly. But everything else from him has been absolutely flawless in this game to keep his 80 carry alive, to set up plays, and that's earned them a second Drake and a nearly 3K gold lead here at the 12-minute mark. And again, all the gold's where you want it. It's on their carry, Alistair. Oh, what? No,
it's a bad day. It's all bad, man. It's all bad. Nelson, I've seen this guy. I've seen his career. I've watched him play. Well, JVL is actually in a whole lot of trouble here. Slash Div tries to get the play, but again, you have a numbers disadvantage. The Shockwave hits 2. The ultimate from LZ hits 2. Mr. Kiwiism plays 2. And finally, JVL will kill 2. It is just, they just go for stuff. These guys have just been through the ringer, and it's a violent affair.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. And on that occasion, Juicebox, the name of the game, their setup. They think they have a gank angle onto JVL, but the communication's not there. Kiwiism on a roam timing. He's on his way up to mid lane. They don't know where LZ is either, so he could be there, but they just decide to go for it, hoping that they can get it done. JVL knows he's got his players in the back pocket. He sees the two members come in. He's like, all right, thank you very much. I'm just going to flash away from this one, but now Alistair might be in some trouble. Oh, no, he's not. He's to the ground.
He clicked him a bunch of times, and therefore Nelson and Assisted will die. Nelson just walked into him. He walked in face first. It was like, it's like a case of masochism at this point. he's like, just do me dirty, man.
And here's the real tragedy of that play. That might have worked if he still had a stopwatch.
Yeah, it's really tough, and it's just mental mistakes at this point. It's little errors that are leading to every opposing AD carry that they run into having several kills in the lead. It's really like been a nightmare. And when you're assisted and you're seeing Nelson just kind of make these misplays, what do? You just have to sit back and watch. And I'm sure I know VT Nelson is a really good player. I've seen him make excellent plays, especially in other leagues. Like I was saying, I've watched his career, but this has just not been his day.
Yeah, it really hasn't been his day, and it's not going to be Orbital's day. It's already so much trouble for them. The composition here scales brilliantly from Lotus. Again, they have the Azir, they have the Caitlyn, but this Caitlyn, unlike the one we saw last game, is going to be so far behind. I mean, 89 CS down 50, has already died twice. The power trough is going to be forever. It's going to be forever. It's going to be the whole game. And Alistar is just going to be unkillable on this Jinx. And now, they're just getting collapsed on again.
Yeah, the setup once more wasn't quite there. It's a 2v3 scenario. Fortunately, it looks like they might just be able to get away this time. Hook goes wide, and the death sentence won't end in death. Black binding onto LZ, but it's a 2v2 in that river, and they have less kills. They have less resources in that 2v2, so they have to let LZ go. Towers are dropping top lane. Towers getting chunked out mid, and I guess they're getting some tower damage on the bottom lane, but they're not even going to get this tower.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get this tower. The waves are pushing against them. The Caitlyn doesn't have the damage yet, and they're just going to lose a turret. They may be able to take this in the extended trade, but losing a mid and top tier turret for the bottom tier one is just not worth it. There aren't any plates left on this turret, so you're not really gaining any advantage by having your bottom lane down there. This is... Last game was fairly close for a long time.
Yeah.
Beatbox. It was a good performance by Orbital. No matter the result, they were competitive. The only difference, really, as we talked about, was some setup around objectives where they were late to those objectives, and that broke the game open. Their team fighting, their team play, their individual mechanics were really good in game one. That is not the case here. This is another looking like a stomp, similar to how it was in game two against YO Boomers earlier on in the night, and it's just a rough one. The Azir ulti and shuffle just not accurate there. You needed to shuffle him back. You shuffle him away. This is a good teleport. Finally, a good play. They just gonna absolutely destroy JBL, who I think he knew he got his hand caught in the cookie jar there.
Yeah, he kind of rolled over and died on that one. It actually looks like they're going to get a dragon, but at what cost? You know, the mid lane shoved in so far for Lotus, and the top lane is getting there pretty dang quick. So, yeah, hey, I think this is the first dragon since their first game of the night that they have control over. I don't know. LZ would be insane to try to steal this, so they should just be able to grab it. It's a 4v5. Mr. Kiwiism is walking up. Actually, he might jump it. Yeah, he's going for it.
Yeah, he should want to.
It's no one. The Mega Death Rocket did not land, and that is a dragon plus a kill onto LZ. Mid inner has died. Top inner is dying. Mr. Kiwiism probably going to drop as well, but I think in terms of total value, they come out maybe only slightly ahead. The two towers, gone now, and they got, three total kills and a dragon, which is their first dragon.
Yeah, I think the big win here for the side of Orbital is just any positive momentum. Like, they have had none in this game. They get a couple kills onto Assistant, who now has the Gale Force completed. You get some positive momentum. You slow down the dragon stacking from the side of Lotus. I think the big win there, even if it is just a slight gold win, is just the mental victory of knowing that you've made a positive play, that you took JVL down, that you took the dragon, and that there is some hope in this game, because the way things were going, you were just losing hope if you were a Chrome member, particularly after 3 defeats in a row, 2 that were close and 1 that was just not at all.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a while until they get some of their champions online. Yeah, obviously, Kennen has that big game-changing ultimate. The problem is they don't quite have the damage to back that ultimate up yet. And while Kennen, 103 is a fine scoreline, you're still not at one-shot territory with that ultimate. You're probably not going to be able to get a Jinx all the way dead with it. So they have a while to go. They have a while to hold on, but that doesn't mean that they can't hold on. It's still possible, and it's still doable. Teams have done way less to come back from more in the past, and mistakes always happen. So we're gonna have to stick it out and see what they're able to come up with. Another good proactive play from Derricos on this top side, and they're looking for the Gnar. They should have them by basically every metric. The ultimate was really good, but it is a 4v1, and that, folks, that is setup right there.
That is set up, actually. They have some vision. They have a good roam. They know there's no way for Lotus to punish them. What is Lotus going to take? You can't push into the game, even as far ahead as you are. At 19 minutes, you can't push into base. There's no dragon available. You can't take the Baron. It's not even there yet. So this is just a straight-up good play from Orbital Chrome. And I'm not exactly sure what Accelerate's doing here. This is the second time now a Lotus member has just been caught out in a side lane for absolutely no reason. And these are the small things that give teams hope and a chance back into the game. I don't know if you can do this, LZ.
LZ is getting chunked out real low. I don't even know if his passive is quite off cooldown yet. His ultimate, Let's Bounce, has already been expended. And they were just trying to get, I guess... Actually, I don't know why they took that fight. That was an odd one to take. You know, they are unable to get any real setup because by the time that dragon spawns, all your wards are basically expired anyway. So, yeah, they went for it. I'll give them credit for trying to make a play, but outside of maybe like transferring a kill into a Baron take, which you're on the opposite side of the map of, I'm not sure what Lotus's plan was on that one.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what it is either. And again, these are the small incremental things you need to try to come back if you're Orbital. Try to take advantage of them overextending on side lanes. Maybe they're egoing. Maybe they think the game is just over. I mean, they still are in a massive advantage. The gold lead is massive. It's all on Alistair. He's about to Flame Horizon, his counterpart in the AD carry role there. But if you can kill Alistair in a fight somehow, it's all on him. I mean, the man is worth 11,000 gold at the moment. It's 4K more than anyone else, but it has to be a kill on Alistair or he is just going to shred you.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to get on him and you have to kill him before he gets basically 3 auto attacks onto your squishies.
He is 3 items and boots.
I know, like, it literally takes maybe even 2 on poor Nelson, right? Like, it just doesn't take much at this point. And on the bright side, you know, Caitlyn does have some pretty bad escape tools, but she still has escape tools. You know, she can still get away. And Baron at 22 minutes has started up for the side of Lotus. Nar's kind of playing goalkeeper for the time being. And this is going to take a miracle. Derricos, you got to make your move right now. He does not, and they are taking the fight. ADC actually has a great stun with the Slicing Maelstrom.
Alistair's alive,
and that is already 2 dead on the side of Lotus. Looks like they're going to get a third because Accelerate's kind of going to be the sacrificial Gnar here. And he's just going to try to buy as much time as he can. Fun Blast Cone. That was a good one. So, oh, he's going for it.
He got
it. So they do get 3 out on the Baron, and with Dragon spawned, if if Orbital Chrome doesn't get this Dragon, that's just a nightmare. But so they are going for it already, and yeah, I mean, it's something. You know, they got 2 of the kills for the Baron.
Please no. Okay, good. Oh, I was gonna say if that Jinx ult stole the Baron, that would have just. Oh no, assisted. Please run.
Well, fortunately, Alistair already used the ultimate, so he won't be able to follow that up. And Mr. Cubism's looking for it. Actually, never mind. He has a Thresh, and that's going to be all it takes. 1 more auto, and Alistair able to put assisted down in the dirt once more. These inhibitor towers are basically completely forfeited at this point without your main damage AD-wise. And I just don't see a Kennen engage going well here.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to give it up for now until your damage comes back up. The inhibitor should fall. You need that AD carry to try to fight. Jinx doesn't have a flash, so there is a window here to try to get on top of Alistair and try to take this man down, but I do think you need to wait for the AD. You take the second Drake away, so you still have 10 minutes before Soul. You are still in a deep gold rut. It's going to be so difficult, but there is that window now. There is that little bit of hope. Alistair cannot flash away this time if ADC does get onto it.
Yeah, he does not have that summoner to use, and it's still a really risky proposition, but frankly, you know, I think you have to... I think this is... Oh, Nelson. Oh, you know, I honestly think he just lost track of where he was on the map, and that is a tough situation. Assisted, also killed off just by getting walked down, and well, frankly, that should be the game right here, as inhibitor number 2 is about to drop. You have Mega Gnar, but you know, you're not going to get a whole lot done with that. Inhibitor does finally fall. Accelerate is kind of playing off on the side. but he shoves Slash Div right into the team. The Slicing Maelstrom only gets onto 2. Shockwave is even better. 2 more die on the side of Orbital Chrome, and with Nelson and Slash Div, the only 2 members alive, never mind, with Slash Div, the only member alive, it's just, that is all she wrote. Orbital Chrome came, they tried their best, you know, all they had, but at the end of the day, 0-4 can happen to the best of us.
Yeah, 0-4 can happen to the best of us, and unfortunately, it is going to happen to the likes of Orbital Chrome today. And you just got to look a little bit at the bottom lane in all 4 of these games. We talked about it in the pre-show. Palmgoat, the leading AD carry in the league at the moment. Alistair kind of fighting with Vark to be what, in some of our opinions, is the second best AD carry in the league after being the best last year, being that all-pro first-team AD carry. And making a statement here, both times against Orbital Chrome. He's 6-0-7 on the Jinx, brilliant on the Caitlyn as well. And Orbital had some good games. Both of their game ones were close. They were making good plays. Derikos looked good and aggressive on some of his jungle picks. It just didn't come together for them. And at the end of the day, they're just getting outplayed in some of these fights, in some of these setups in particular. And they're going to have to go back to the drawing board because this was a big night for them. 4 games on stream in that 6th position, a chance to go to the playoffs on the line against 2 playoff teams. I put them in my C tier along with Catalyst Blaze. I didn't think they were going to make playoffs. They had a huge chance to prove me wrong tonight, and it didn't happen.
Well, back to the drawing boards they go, and back to our analyst desk we go. It's time to go ahead and try to break some of that down. Take it away, Dr. Necrox, and let's try to throw a positive spin on this bad boy.